Welcome students. In today's class we will be learning how to perform the data analysis. Now the data given here is the class performance is of grade 10 and we got four classes here, grade 10A, 10B, 10C, 10D, and they are apparently given a test in physics and their scores are being recorded. Now we will have to perform the complete analysis individually, class by class, and also we will have to perform an analysis that would give us the best class. So we will have to judge the best class from this performance. So there are two important things, as I mentioned to you, that is the objective. So this is the data. You can watch this data. Let me explain to you. So grade 10A is given and we got 25 data points. That means 25 students have taken this particular test and this is the data. So let me minimize it so that I can squeeze in the total data points. So this is the total number of data points, 1 to 25, and these are their scores. Now foremost I would do individual analysis, class by class. So first I would be taking class, or in this case it's going to be grade 10A. So let me just start off. I want to find out the minimum score that this class has got. So just place minimum there and then click and enter. Over here place an equal to sign and enter min, and select the cell, place or press Ctrl Shift upward arrow, then you press Shift and deselect that heading and then click enter. So this would give you the minimum score. Now probably you can bold that thing out and then center it, and similarly this one you can bold it out and center it so you can have that clarity. Now having got that minimum entry, let me find out the maximum. So this is going to be max and the formula is equal to max. Open the parenthesis, click the cell, press in Ctrl Shift and then upward arrow, press the Shift key and deselect that heading and click enter. So this is going to give us the maximum value. As I always tell you, make it bolder and center the value. Also make this value bolder and center the value. So you got the maximum and the minimum. Now after you have got that, you need to get the average. What is the average score? So for that the formula is AVE. You got the average there, click on that and then select the cell, Ctrl Shift upward arrow, press the Shift key and deselect it and click enter. So now you got the average score also, and we make it bolder and we center it out. So we got the minimum score, maximum score and the average score. Now after obtaining this we need to get the quartiles. So this one is going to be the first quartile formula, QUARTILE. You can just place a parenthesis and mention Q1 there. So that would give you the quartile. You can make it bolder. And how do you find it? Place an equal to, press Q, you get the first option, select that and then select the data, Control Shift upward arrow, Shift downward arrow and then come back to the data point and you will have to place a comma, and since it's first quartile, enter 1 there. That's how you need to do that. If you don't do that you will get an error. So center that data and now you need to get Q3. Now Q2 is already got, Q2 is the average, right? So quartile Q3 is equal to, you can just make it bolder, and the formula is equal to Q. You get the first option, select that, select the data, Control Shift upward arrow, deselect it and then come back here, place a comma and enter 3 because it's quartile 3 and click enter. So now You got Q1, Q2, Q3. Now you need to get the IQR. IQR, as I've already explained to you, stands for interquartile range. So make it bolder and you center it. So the formula is Q3 minus Q1. So this value minus Q1. So that's the interquartile. So make it bolder and center it. So you got that IQR. Now after getting IQR, you need to spot the outliers. So outliers, so that's the outlier number 1. So how do you get that? For that we need to use this all important formula, which is Q1 equal to, where is Q1? Q1 minus IQR multiplied with 1.5. So any value that is lesser than this is considered an outlier. Apparently we don't have any outliers. We don't have a negative outlier. I would say a negative value. Now there is also a maximum outlier or positive value. We need to obtain that. So let me change this to 2. Outlier number 2. This is found using the following formula, which is Q3, this value, plus IQR, this value, multiplied with 1.5. That's a formula. Any value greater than this. So in this case, there is no chance of having a value greater than this because the maximum is 50. So we don't have to actually calculate outliers. Now with this information, I'm going to draw the box plot. So for that you click on insert and go back and select this one. Click on this, it will tell you box and whisker. So click on this box and whisker, you right click and then you say select data, and then over here you say add. For the first one you add grade 10A, and then for the second icon you select the data points, control shift downward arrow, all of this thing would be selected. Click enter and click OK and then OK. So change the name of the chart. So in this case this is going to be grade 10A, grade 10A. So that's going to be the box plot. So clearly the box plot will tell us the minimum. The minimum is lying between 0 and 10. So clearly it says 5. That's fine. And then you have the quartile one. The quartile one is 17.5. 17.5 is this line. This line is 17.5. That's the first quartile. And the average is given by 27.08. 27.08 is lying between 20 and 30. So that's this center line. That is the mean. And then Q3, the value of Q3 is 37.5. 37.5, you see that how beautifully it's been plotted. So this is between 30 and 40 and close to 40. So that is the value of Q3. And then you got the maximum, which is heading towards 50. So the maximum value that you see here, let me show you, is 48. So clearly it's plotted here close to 50. So there aren't any outliers. If there is an outlier, it will be plotted somewhere over here. We don't have an outlier because the maximum mark is fixed. And as I always mention to you, the first 25% will be located between minimum value and the Q1, and subsequently the next 25% and the next 25% and next 25%. So you've got 25% of the data points lying between Q3 and the maximum. So this would comprise of that 25% of the data points. So every part is actually divided into 25%. So having got that, let me just take this one off. I don't want this one to be here. That goes off. So you right click and you press the delete key. So that is about the box plot for class 1. Now this does not give us any information about comparing the classes. Okay. So we need to compare the classes. So for that, we need to go for z-scores. So what I would do is I would just to complete the box plot for grade 10, grade 10C, I would say 10B, 10C, 10D. So that has to be done. So let me just quickly do that. So just get the minimum for this. So you got Q1, Q2, Q3. Now we don't need to look for outliers. Okay, so just we will draw the box and whisker plot for this. So just click on this cell, insert, go to this icon, select the whisker box and whisker plot, right click, select data, click on add, click on the first cell, click on grade 8B, click on the second icon and select the data, control shift downward arrow and click enter, and then you click OK and click OK. So this is the second box plot. I need to place that grade there, grade 10B, and then I will remove this thing off, and then you can right click and you can delete that one out. Now if you want to compare, you can actually take this and place it side by side and see how the data is behaving, right? So this is the utmost comparison, visual comparison we can get using the box plot. Now clearly you can go back to the analysis that we have got. The minimum is 5, the minimum is 2 here, the maximum is 48, the maximum is 49. The average is 27.08, the average is 25.72. The quartiles are different. The values of the Q3 are also different. Now you can get one more data point, IQR. You can get IQR. Now IQR is equal to Q3 minus Q1. Okay, so that is the IQR, interquartile range. So even the IQR, there is a huge difference in the IQR. Okay, so what we can do is we can just highlight them all, make it bolder, you center the data, and you get that information. So now comes the next box plot. So let me get the minimum. Minimum is equal to min of, select this, control shift upward arrow, deselect it, you get the minimum, then get the maximum, then you need to get the average. You got the average. Now you need to get Q1, that's for the first quartile, and next Q3, come back to the data point and place 3 there, and then you can also get IQR. This is equal to Q3 minus Q1, so that's the IQR. So you can just select all of this, make it bolder and center the data. I will draw the box plot once I finish this. So this is the minimum entry, so this is equal to min so you can select all of this and make it bolder, and then center the data items. Okay, that's got, probably you can put all of them in a table, the completion of the value. So clearly you can see the minimum is 5, minimum is 2 year, minimum is 1 year, and minimum is 1 year also. Then the maximum is 48, 49, 47 and 48. So the average, you can clearly see the average entries. Okay, so we can draw the box plot for the class grade 10C. So just go here, Now using the box plot, we can actually perform individual summary. We can give individual summaries, right? But our intention now is to judge the best class. So for that, what I'm going to do is we will have to extract what is called a z-score. So how do we calculate the z-score? There is a formula. I think I will remove this off. What is the formula? The formula is, this is the formula that I will be utilizing. Z-score. Z-score is equal to observation x minus mean, and this has to be divided by standard deviation. So let me just place that, x minus mean divided by standard deviation, STD. So that is the formula we will be utilizing. So in that case, we need to extract the standard deviation for each of these cases. So let me go up here and study, or I would say the grade 10A that is present here. So I will have to have this. So for that, what I need to do is I need to get the observation. From the observation, I need to subtract the mean, and I need one more column. So I will insert another column, and this column would be x minus mean, and I have to raise it to the power of 2. So this is equal to the observation minus the mean. The mean is this value. Now when you go up over here, you need to make sure that you're placing a dollar before B and a dollar after B. This is called as absolute referencing. If you don't do that, you will get inaccurate results. So just click enter. Of course it's a negative value, don't worry about that. Just pull it down, and the very next column you're going to square that up. So that will be the neutralizing factor. So this is equal to this, and in Excel we place the caret sign and we raise it to the power of 2. That's the way you square quantities. So you click enter, this is squared, and all you need to do is just pull this down. So you get the data here. Now you need to get the total of this. Okay, you need to sum this up. So this is equal to the sum of, click this, control shift upward arrow, deselect it and click enter. So that is the sum. Now this sum, to get the standard deviation, we need to divide. Okay, to get the standard deviation, we need to actually divide this by n minus 1. So I'm exactly going to do that. So STD, standard deviation, is equal to, so this is equal to, I need to take, after dividing I need to take the square root. So this is the way the formula works. SQRT of this, there are 25 entries, so I don't need to place n minus 1, I'll just place 24. So this is the value. So the standard deviation is calculated like this. So you give an enter, so you are getting a lot of decimals. So I don't want this many decimals. So what I will do, I will just go over here. Over here I will just say rounded. So I will utilize this round function, equal to round, and then I'll take this entry. I want only 2 decimal places, so place a comma and give 2 decimal places. So this is the standard deviation. Now after getting the standard deviation, what we need to do is we need to get the z-score. So click on here, give an insert, and this is going to be my z-score. So z-score. So how do we calculate z-score? As I told you, this is equal to the observation minus the mean. The average entry is over here. Go back here, place a dollar and a dollar after B, and complete the parenthesis, and you divide it by the standard deviation. So the standard deviation should also be accompanied with the absolute referencing. So that is how you get the z-score for the first observation. Okay, so you got that. Now what is the meaning of this? This means this score is 1.2 times the standard deviation below the mean, because the student has just scored 12, but our average is what, 27.08, right? So definitely the student has not gone towards the accepted average. I cannot use the word accepted average, the average, that's the best way. Now having got this, what we need to do is, all we need to do is just pull this down. That's all. We got z-score for everything. That's the beauty of Excel. So pull this down, you will get z-score for all this. What I will do is, I will have to do all of this for grade 10. So 10B. So let me just move up first, and I will go up here, right click, I will just insert, and this is going to be x minus mean, and go up over here. This is equal to, you need to be a bit careful when you're choosing the mean, because this minus, we need to go and choose the mean over here. This is the mean that we need to choose. Then you place in the dollar signs. Okay, so that's exactly what we do, and you close the parenthesis and you click enter. We got the mean, pull it down and go up over here, right click, insert, and this is going to be x minus mean square. So this is equal to, click on this and you raise it to the power of 2, and then pull this down up until here and take a sum of this. So this is equal to sum of, Control Shift upward arrow, deselect it, you get the sum. Now to get the standard deviation, STD, okay, STD is equal to the square root of the summed up value divided by 24. So you got the standard deviation. So now you need to round this up. So rounded, this is equal to round, and I want only 2 decimal places. Click on this, place 2, and you got the rounded value. So now you need to get the z-score. Click on this, insert. So this is going to be my z-score, and that is calculated as equal to the x minus the mean x bar. This is the average. So make sure to place the dollar before and after, close the parenthesis, and you divide it by the standard deviation, this value, and make sure to place the dollar before and after. So that's perfect. Click enter and pull the z-score down. Okay, so the z-score is got. So now we need to calculate for grade 10C. So insert, this is going to be x minus mean, and this is equal to this observation minus the mean. So where is the mean for 10C? This is the average, and make sure to place the dollar sign. So that is got, click on it and you pull it down. So that is done. We need to square that value. So insert x minus mean, and then you place the caret sign and you come over here. This is equal to this entry raised to the power of 2, and you pull this down. Pull this down and you take the square of this. I would say take the sum of this, sum of all the entry. So Control Shift upward arrow. So you get the sum of all this, Now you need to get the standard deviation. So STD, this is equal to SQRT. This sum is divided by 24, and then you round this up, rounded value. This is equal to round. This entry, I need only 2 decimal places. Fair enough. So now we need to calculate the z-score. Enter here. This is the z-score. How do we calculate? This is equal to observations minus the average. You place the dollar before and after, and you divide it by standard deviation. Where's the standard deviation? This is the standard deviation. Place the dollar before and after. You click enter and you are getting this as the z-score. Pull it down. Okay, so far everything is on the perfection scale. Okay, so now let me move on to the grade 10. I will insert one more column, and I want to calculate x minus mean. So just calculate x minus mean. So this is equal to this one minus my mean. So mean is nothing but the average entry. Go up over here, place the dollar sign, click enter, and you pull it down. And again I want to enter a column, so this is going to be x minus mean, and then you just come over here. This is equal to this. You need to square it up, so give an enter. Okay, so pull it down up onto here. So just extend this a bit, and then take the sum. So this is equal to sum of this, control shift upward arrow, shift downward arrow. That is the sum. Now you need to get the standard deviation. So I will just say STD, and then this is equal to SQRT of this divided by the total entry. That's going to be 25 minus 1. That's going to be 24. So that's the standard deviation. Okay, fair enough. And you round this off. Rounded. This is equal to round of this entry. I need only 2 decimal places. So that's fair enough. So that is got. Now you need to get the z-score. So I will just insert one more column and then write z-score there. Z-score. So the formula is observation minus the average, place the dollar sign there, and that has to be divided by the standard deviation. So place the dollar sign there. So click on it and pull that down. So you got the z-score for all of the classes. Now comes the all-important step. Now the all-important step is to get the sum of the z-scores. Okay, so you need to get the total sum. Okay, a very important observation is that now if you were to come to the grade 10A, the class here, the z-score, you can clearly see after decimal you got multiple digits. Now don't try to add up all these things. If you were to try to add up like the data points that you see here, you are getting a quantity in an exponent manner. So that would really complicate the situation. Now what you need to do is just go and use the round function. So over here, what I will do is I will go and enter the round there, open a parenthesis, and I will settle with 4 decimal places. Okay, I hope you're catching the point, and generate a manageable entry. Now this is nothing but negative 1.263. Just pull the data down all the way up to number 25, and this would give you a z-score. If you were to observe the z-score is negative 0.001. That means it's close to 0. Now the interpretation is that the class performance is close to the average, and the very fact that you have a negative sign there, it means that it is not on the positive side of being average, but on the negative end of being average. That means the class as a whole is trying to move towards achieving this average. So that is the interpretation that you need to get here, because negative 0.0001 is very close to 0. And from z-score, a value like that means it is actually on the average, but from the left hand side. It is not from the right side. That means it's positive. In this case, it's negative. Okay, let us see the performance of grade 10B. What is their part? So now what you need to do is go over here and round it off. So I'm going to utilize the round function. So this is the score. Take the sum. Let's see how this class has performed. So Control Shift, or you can either use Control Shift over here, or you can start from the top, Control Shift downward arrow. So you got everything, place the parenthesis and click enter. So you got 0. Z-score of 0 means on the average. So that is the inferences that you should have here. The class as an average performance. So that means it is not on the negative end nor on the positive end. And it also indicates that there is no deviation from the norm. In other words, if you are talking about standard normal distribution, the z-score of 0 corresponds to the highest point of the curve. Now if you were to ask me between class A and class B, which is better, definitely we have got the winner here. Class B is above class A. Okay, with that being said, let me just move on to grade C, or I would say grade 10C. So over here, I'm going to round this value up, pull it down. Let us see what we are getting. I'm going to sum it up. So this is equal to sum of Control Shift downward arrow. Okay, everything is selected, click enter. This is also average. So this is also an average performance. And going to class D, 10D. So let me just round. You take the sum of it, Control Shift, and give an enter, and you get average. So all of these classes have an average performance except for class A. So this is how we actually perform the z-score, and we perform the analysis. So that would complete our study on box plots and on z-scores. Thank you, students. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Until we meet again.